welcome back to another Clouse's vacation video thing. Today we are at the Capp Manor and we are working on Juliette Capp's bedroom. I'm gonna admit straight off, I definitely went rogue on this one. As you can see, her room is primarily yellow. That's not where we're gonna end up. Part of my problem is I just have very strong ideas of how I feel my canon Juliette should be, and so it was very difficult to kind of pry that away from me. And so I kind of didn't let it go. I know in kind of like the descriptions and stuff, she's supposed to be like really sweet and not really meek though, but just generally very sweet and like wants to be happy. And I mean, for me, she's always been like part of the redheaded mob and probably like the leader of the mob. Like, I just love the idea that she is just, because especially her clothing, like she's just this teenage girl who's just like super into bubblegum pink and just like super duper overachiever, but also is terrifying and can kneecap you. Like, that's just how I've always seen Juliette. Couldn't undo that. So we are leaning into that heavily. The room is going to be very, 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 very pink. I make no apologies for it. That little disclaimer aside. I had so much fun with this room. I really did. Because I knew I was going pink. Like, no matter what I found in here, I knew I was going pink. I didn't change the walls because I feel like this is an older building and they wouldn't, you know, that's not something you realistically would paint. But I did change the carpet and then, yeah, just got right to work finding every pink thing that I possibly could. One of the things that kind of ended up developing is the idea that she was obsessed with horror movies. It just pleased me that she wants to be a final girl. She wants to be the Sidney Prescott. She's just waiting for her moment. Because again, I think she's terrifying and she probably has the skills to back it up. She kind of has started like a charity where they give away knitted clothing, so you know, it's good for the Capp name, but also she just likes to knit, and so it's a way to get rid of all of the things that she makes. I mentioned in the Mercutio video that he also learned how to knit and kind of donates things as well. It's just a silly little thing that I can add in to kind of tie the neighborhood together, but also just, again, to make Juliette a little bit more well-rounded than she likes a boy. She's a family sim and wants to be happy. Will they be happy? Like, let's give her a little bit more depth here. She was really fit. I think she had a fitness interest as well, so I like the idea that she's into a lot of sports like volleyball, softball, running. I also like the idea that the Capps have like horses. I mean, I didn't put that in or anything, but they definitely strike me as the type of old money family that has a bunch of horses, so she definitely would ride them. So I gave her a couple of those horse trophies from Sims 3, I believe they were converted from. I also wanted to portray the fact that she's kind of like the heir to the mob, so to speak, in the game, but like that's kind of hard. I downloaded CDs and floppy disks and USB drives because I was like, well, maybe she's got secrets and this could show the secrets, but it just didn't work out very well. I did find like a small way to nudge at the fact that they're maybe not as legit as they pretend to be, but nothing that really was casual blackmail material, sadly. I also like the idea that she grows prize-winning flowers. I'm kind of sad that I had Ophelia Nigmos have like carnivorous plants because I think Juliette would also have carnivorous plants, but instead she just grows prize-winning roses, things like that. So I definitely put a lot of plants in her room. And yeah, just more physical stuff as well, like ballet, boxing, arm wrestling. She's a physical kid. Like, that's how she gets her aggression out. Tybalt doesn't have that. That's why nobody likes him. You know, she's Regina. As I stutter and stumble, she is Regina George meets the mob. That is the literal note that I have for her. And I also like that she has like the largest bedroom, because I looked over the rooms and this kind of has to be her room because the other room looks like it was clearly designed for like an alternative kind of kid, which Hermia is, her sister. And since it's the largest room, stands to reason, you know, she is the heir. I know that there's, the memories and stuff are kind of weird in this neighborhood, so you can kind of get away with different Sims being different things, but to me, Juliette's always going to be the heir to the family, no matter what the birth order was. She is the one that is just bloodthirsty enough to be in charge. That said, I don't think that she likes her grandfather. I don't think she likes pretty much anybody very, very much. I think she likes her family, and she likes Romeo because he's dumb, but he's smart in the ways that matter. And most importantly, he does not question what she says. He just does it. And I think that they work very well together. So yeah, you can just kind of see me shopping for very cutesy things, very pink, maybe some mint greens, some yellows. I did want to try to bring a little bit of yellow in since I went so far away from what this originally was. Like, there's not going to be dark furniture. There's not going to be... No. Victorian furniture's been banned. Like, we're off script, and it's fine. Also, I keep using these pillows, like, everywhere because they're so dang cute, and they have so many good recolors. I'm just like, I'm just gonna keep using them. And no one can stop me. Yeah, I used a lot of nifty knitting converted clutter because it fit the aesthetic that I was giving her very well. I also ended up giving her a double bed, which is difficult in this space. I kind of wanted to give her that bed because I had the yellow headboard, but I didn't. I wanted her to have a princess canopy bed. So even as I was putting these other beds down, I was like, but no. Princess canopy bed, though. Princess canopy bed. I did briefly consider the unicorn bed, but it did not win out. I probably could have sped this up a little bit more looking at it. I usually just, whatever the video is, I cut it in half. Because like I said, I don't have a lot of time, and I've been jamming these videos into every spare moment that I have before I leave, because I leave in like 6 days. By the time you're watching this, I'll have been gone for almost a month. But yeah, so I'm just trying to get everything finished and recorded. And then I found out I have to have surgery pretty much a week after I get back. So when I get back, I get to pre-record even more. I was gonna be good and be like, okay, I'm just gonna start working on those two, and I'm like, there's no way. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6, 5. I've got 5 more videos to do. And there's just no way that I can do that and then do an additional pile of videos while I'm recovering from my surgery. Because I'm getting a sinus surgery. I've mentioned it before that I've been having a lot of health problems, mainly with dizziness, and I've been, saying it's my sinuses. They were saying it's migraines. I was getting really down about it, but they have confirmed that, they did a CT scan and they've confirmed my sinuses are jacked up. So, and I've been severely deviated left septum, so they're gonna break my nose, and my sinus cavities, like little tubey things essentially, are really narrow, so nothing can drain, which is why I'm dizzy all the time. So they're gonna go ahead and help me take care of that, hopefully. I was looking at the recovery times. It doesn't seem like it'll be too bad, but I was prepared for the worst, so I'm gonna give myself a minimum of 2 weeks. In the time span that I have, I'm going to try to make as many videos as I can, but there might be a bit of a gap there, just depending. Although the things that I'm going to be pre-recording are going to be a lot easier to pre-record. These ones are hard because I have to go downloading, which I don't know why I picked such a hard project for this, but yeah, I'll have to go in a download spree, which usually takes me all day. And then the next day I install everything, I open the game, I record decorating, and then I have to go back and edit and do a whole voiceover. So these are actually very time-consuming videos, which I hope everybody's been enjoying. Like, I have really been enjoying them, which is why I keep doing them, and why I didn't go, you know what, no, this takes too much time, I'm going to do something else, because I really have liked them, and I want to finish it out. But yeah, they are very time-consuming, so at least the other ones are just my normal, the Color Legacy Challenge, Anne of Cleves, ABC Build Challenge, just like normal things that don't take me very long. partially because I'm a bad YouTuber and I don't edit. I really don't. I'm sure you've noticed. I try to make sure the sound is not too bad because I know I'm really loud. Like, no matter what I do with my microphone, like, I am just loud. So I try to not be so loud, and I try to edit the sound so it's a little lower, but yeah, I don't have time to edit, and I'm not trying to be a professional YouTuber, so I feel like that excuses my nonsense. Yeah, I downloaded that cabinet recolor specifically for her. I'm like, no, we have to have it in here. Because even though she's got a big room, like, it actually was hard, especially when I put a double bed. Because it's a weird shape, the fireplace is there, it's also got a second door to a bathroom. I wanted her to keep the private suite kind of style setup that she has, so to speak, so I didn't want to get rid of that door. I know I've done it before, like I did it for Mercutio and Romeo, but for this instance, it didn't make sense to get rid of the door. She should have a private bathroom. So I didn't get rid of it, but I did keep the double bed. I tried to do the little princess bed, and I'm like, no, I want her to have a canopy. She deserves a canopy. But then there was a matter of fitting everything else in. I really wanted to use these craft things too, but it didn't work. I imagine she has them somewhere else in the house. Same with the vanity, like, it could be elsewhere. She doesn't even have a desk, to be honest, because there wasn't space. And I wanted to give her a couch because both of her siblings, Hermia and Tybalt, both have a couch in their room. You can see I did some editing because this was taking me a really long time. It was just hard. Like, I swapped at the fireplace and I'm just like, how do I get all the things in here that I want? But yeah, I wanted the couch really bad because her siblings have one and it just makes sense that she would have one too. And I was trying to like scooch things over and see if I can't like fit more on those walls than there should be. The struggle was real. I kept grabbing trees too. I was getting annoyed. So what do you guys do with the Capp family, and specifically with Juliette, since we're decorating her room? Do you have her be the heir, and do you actually have her get with Romeo? I'm always curious what people do. I'm also curious, like, what people think of the storyline, just because it is so heavily based on Shakespeare. Like, some people I've seen really like that, some people really hate that. I'm personally meh about it. If anything, it kind of bothers me because there are Shakespearean characters that I would prefer to have seen if they were going to go that route. So I'm like, well, then why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do, you know? That begins to happen in my brain. But otherwise, I'm just kind of meh. They're still Sims characters to me. These, I really don't think of them as the Shakespearean equivalents. I just see more like the inspiration was there, but that's not who they are. I really wanted this folding chair too because it was the right colors and like the butterfly, and so it was really girly, but it just it didn't work. I wanted the cat bed too. Like, there was just so much that I wanted in here, and it was kind of a struggle. I did remember the little light thing that I talked about for Romeo's room, where it was like a light that if you touch it and the other person touches it, it lights up, and so they know you're thinking about them kind of thing. I did remember, so good on me for remembering one thing. I also gave her, since she had a boombox originally, I gave her the most obnoxious boombox that I could find. Which is very big and very pink. I'm sure she'd approve. I also found like these tennis balls, and I was like, oh, she can be into tennis too. As well as the violin. I feel like all of the Capp kids would be forced to learn some kind of instrument, just because it seems like kind of a cliche. And so I feel like he'd be like, yes, you, Consort would 100% make them learn an instrument, and the instrument that she chose to learn is the violin. I don't think it's really her hobby or her passion in life, but this is me kind of trying to edit out some of the many clutter items that I picked out. And also just to add more, because of course I was. I wanted these trays to be in her room so bad. I couldn't do it. They just didn't work. Imagine if I was able to build her greenhouse, I could put them in there, but I really wanted to lean on the idea that she's this very talented, award-winning, like, grower of flowers of some kind. I think the roses are kind of funny, because isn't there a rose that's named after Romeo and Juliet? It's like the Romeo and Juliet rose. I know that from an episode of SVU, believe it or not. That's how much I know about plants. It's interesting seeing what got cut and what did not, because I started off with like this big pile of kind of toys. She does feel young too, like she is the younger sibling, but she feels a lot younger in some ways. But at the same time, again, I see her as kind of terrible. You know, she kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen Killing Eve, but Villanelle. Yeah, she could have that vibe. Very fashionable, kind of unapologetically evil sometimes, but not like evil, just like she doesn't really care about your feelings. Because she kind of doesn't have her own. I don't know. I like the idea of her being awful. I really, really do. It pleases me greatly. So here I am just grabbing a bunch of plants, a lot of succulents, that kind of thing. I also thought games maybe would be another good thing. Like, obviously she's probably the most competitive person to play video games with. Or not video games, but like board games with on the planet. She would absolutely flip a table over Monopoly. So I was like, oh, that could be kind of fun to give her. And I'm building up all this desk clutter, and I don't know why, because at this point I had already decided she was not going to have a desk. I can't help myself is my problem. I was probably thinking that I could put it somewhere else. This is why I am problematic. I probably could have cut even more of this. I've been trying to cut a lot out just because so much of it is just me looking at every single item. Every single one. Just in case. Unless it's like blatantly clear that it is not something that I want, or I know what it is, because it's hard with Sims 2, like the thumbnails are just not great anyways. So it just helps me be like, okay, what is this? I wanted her to have some like shopping bags too, because I feel like she's definitely a shopper. She's also definitely a Starbucks girl, but I think she's more like a cappuccino girl than like a fruity kind of sweet drink. I think she's just cappuccino. She probably has a very specific cappuccino order, and it's probably ridiculous, and it's probably more foam than anything else, but yeah, definitely, which is what a cappuccino is, but like, even more foam. The foamiest of foamiest cappuccinos to ever foam. I had somebody one time, they wanted a cappuccino with just no liquid. No liquid at all. And I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna try that, but that's kind of gross sounding. We get a lot of people that would confuse, because I used to work at a place that made coffee, obviously. We would get a lot of people that would confuse lattes and cappuccinos. So you would get lots of, I want a cappuccino, no foam, and I'm like, so you want like just a shot of espresso? Just espresso just sit in the bottom of a cup? Because cappuccinos are foam, primarily, just so you know, lady. I kind of miss making coffee. There was a certain quietness to it. I mean, I'm never gonna go back, but I did not hate it. You can see I've kind of got some distinct piles going on. Plants, makeup, desk stuff, toys that I've kind of categorized. Like the very front is stuff like that I really, really want in her room, and then like the second is like, it would be nice, but doesn't have to be, and then the back pile I'm like, if I need something. Which is kind of how I've been doing these clutter piles. Is kind of like trying to prioritize, okay, like this is something that's really important to me to have in this room. this thing over here doesn't matter. I wanted her to have a lot of awards though, because she definitely strikes me as someone who not only saves all of her like awards, but like displays them, because she's very competitive and not only wants to be the very best, but wants to make sure everybody else knows she's the very best too. Let's see, I've got that one little horror cutout thing. I just like the idea of her being into scary movies. I think it's great. I didn't get as much of that as I wanted. Oh, and I gave her a birdhouse. Since Romeo makes birdhouses, I thought it would be cute to have like a little birdhouse. Like maybe he made one and gave it to her. And because she does not care about the baby birds, she absolutely has it in her bedroom. I wanted to give her like a wooden figurine too. I didn't really like the options though. I picked a horse because I was kind of starting to think, well, she probably is not a horse girl, but has horses, like just part of like the family style, where they've got like the thoroughbred that they've had for generations. Probably not thoroughbreds. They probably would have warm bloods, but whatevs. A thoroughbred would probably suit her better. Okay, so here you can see I jumped quite a bit, but I just wanted to show you what the room looked like. I've also got some distinct piles of different wall coverings going on, so I wanted to try to have a little bit of each. And now begins the editing process, which was overwhelming. So right away, a lot of the organizers got kicked out, like wall planners and things. I was like, they don't make sense. But I loved this big painting, and it had the right colors in it. It had just a little bit of yellow, because again, I was trying to at least hint at the yellow, since that's what was there originally. I wanted the horse pictures really bad, but I just couldn't fit them in. A lot of the band posters I got rid of, because she didn't have those originally. She didn't have anything. And so I just don't see her as the type to really have a bunch of band posters. But I liked this award thing, because it looks like redheads, so feasibly it could be her and her sister, and that's why I had that. I know that's not like really any kind of scary movie theme on its own, but those pictures kind of seem a little bit darker, and that's why I liked them. I'm like, that can kind of fit with the theme a little bit, maybe. But yeah, you'll notice I have a lot more framed pictures than I'd have in the previous teens' rooms. Most of them don't have framed pictures, but the Capps are very wealthy, so they're going to have access to these expensive paintings, essentially, and they can afford to go and have something framed. I did keep this because it's signed, and yeah, if she liked an actor, she would go have a picture signed. These little cactuses are so cute. Again, bright colors, so I was like, okay, you can stay. I tried to sneak the ballerina in there too. It just didn't work. I do manage to keep the horse calendar though, which I'm glad, and then these little botany pictures. Because they have a lot of really good recolors. I think they're a conversion from Sims 4, but I'm not sure. The calendar, I wasn't sure where to even put it, where it would make sense. So I kind of just chucked it off to the side. But I had to have something else horse-related besides the statues, or else it just seemed weird. So we're going to go through her room real quick and just do a final overview. I hope you guys like it. I had a lot of fun. Like I said, definitely my brain took over in terms of my previous thoughts on her, but I think it turned out really nice regardless. You can see that little butterfly picture in a second. We got a safe. But you can see that butterfly picture. I imagine Romeo made that for her when they were really little, and she's kept it, but kind of hidden it a little bit. Yeah, you can see sports stuff. We've got some chocolates. We've got lots of gardening things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and I will see you in the next one.